right, everybody, we're back with a brand new Cabral Concept. So good to have you here on our Wellness and Weight Loss Wednesday show. Today, we're going to be talking about how it's so easy to overeat, even on a healthy diet, and what that can mean for your body transformation goals. Losing weight, getting in shape, any one of those taglines you want to use is a lot more than just calories in, calories out. Because you can have two individuals, I always say this, but both 5'8", one's 200 pounds, one's 160 pounds, and they might both be eating 3,000 calories a day, right? Well, how does one maintain 160 and the other maintains 200 pounds, right? And one at 200 pounds, they might be, call it, maybe for them, it's 30 pounds overweight or so. And the one at 160 is like the right weight for them, yet they both eat 3,000 calories. Well, it has to do with metabolism, right? So if you want to be able to eat more calories, you have to actually boost your metabolism. But at the end of the day, it really does matter how much you're eating. And I found this out not just recently, but working with a client, it recently came back up. And they wanted to lose like the last 7 pounds, 5 to 7 pounds they wanted to lose. And I said, all right, you've got about 5 pounds left. We're going to just dial this in. And I said, do you write down what you're eating on a daily basis? And again, I don't expect everybody to do this. I don't. But if you've really dialed in your diet, you know you're doing this in the morning at breakfast and this, great. But if you're stuck, you need to write it down. And so what I had this client do is I said, write down exactly what you're eating, including, because I said I could rattle it off right now what I'm eating. And I said, okay, I'm going to take that down in my notes. I'm going to write it down. And I wrote it all down. I calculated all of their macros. I calculated their total nutrition, meaning in terms of the total calories for the day. I looked at their micros as well. And I said, great, this should be able to enable you to lose the weight that you're looking for. So what I want to know, is there anything sneaking into this diet on a daily basis or every other day, whatever it might be, that you're not telling me that you're not writing down? And again, no big deal, but if I don't know, I can't help you. And I said, okay, well, and then they would go in and just say, sometimes I have a couple bites of my kid's dinner. I said, okay. Do you ever have anything after your dinner? Well, a couple times a week, I might have just 2 squares of dark chocolate. Okay, no big deal. Just want to write that down. And then we'll go on and we'll say, what about the weekends? Oh, on the weekends, yeah, it'll be a cheat meal or a flex meal, whatever you want to call it. I say, okay, what does that flex meal look like? And they'll detail the flex meal, right? So I said, okay, I'm starting to get a better picture now. Now, tell me, you said that you use olive oil on your meals, which I'm a huge proponent of course. How much do you use? And I said, is it 2 tablespoons? And they said, well, I just kind of eyeball it. And I said, well, if you've never measured it before, that olive oil, instead of being 2 tablespoons, could be 3 to 4. And we'll talk about those calories in just a minute. And then I also asked them, when you're out on the weekend, do you ever grab a snack? Do you grab an acai bowl? Do you grab something like that you typically wouldn't have between your meals? I said, yeah, every once in a while I will. I'll grab something at my kid's game, or we're coming back from it and I just grab some food with the kids. Okay, understood. So when I started to look at their diet, I said, keep in mind, olive oil is an amazingly healthy food for you, but every tablespoon is about 120 to 130 calories. So if you're just eyeballing it and you're having olive oil twice a day, 1 extra tablespoon at each meal, which is such a small amount, literally it's like 15 milliliters, it's just such a small amount, right? So it's easy if you're just pouring from the bottle instead of putting it on a tablespoon to get an extra 130 calories. Well, in a day, that's 260 extra calories. Now, if this individual is eating 1,800 calories and we just added 260, well, that's like 15% extra over on their diet already. Okay, so now those 2 squares of dark chocolate, no big deal, right? No big deal at all. But if they're already at their upper limit for the day with their total calories that they gave me, and they add another 80 calories, and it's on top of, put it the 260, now we're at 340. All right, so now we're at extra 340 calories. The 2 bites of their kid's meal, no big deal. Is it an extra 50, 60 calories? Probably, yeah, probably. So now we're at 400 extra calories. That's per day, right? So now what is that doing? Well, it's basically keeping them at their maintenance, right, of what they need to do to maintain weight. That is why on a daily basis, 400 calories over 7 days or so, 2,800 calories, it's going to have a difficult time. They might see it drop down a little bit in a day, but overall their weight's going to remain the same. So then on the weekend, I'm all for a flex meal. If you want to have a flex meal and you don't feel that it kind of snowballs you into more and more cheats, we'll call it, or higher calories, whatever it might be, then I have no problem with it. But keep in mind that if you take your normal meal and let's say it's 600 calories, and it's now 1,200 calories, I get it, but it's 600 calories extra for the week. If I had that 600 calories on top of the 2,800 they were up for the week, okay, well, what do? Well, I get about 3,400 calories. You can see why their weight is maintaining that same weight. So the reason why I'm sharing this with you here today is sometimes we say like, no big deal, a little snack here, a little snack there, a couple crackers here, a couple chips here. It honestly kind of is no big deal, except when you're looking to lose that last few pounds and you're trying to get to a caloric deficit. Because if 1,800 calories is their caloric deficit, because their maintenance is around 2,200 to 2,300 or so, and we have them at 2,800 because we want them to really lose that 1 pound a week or so, well, what's going to happen? Well, they're not going to lose the weight because yes, their nutrition meal plan for the day is 1,800 calories, but that's without adding anything else. So I said to this individual, do you want to have your 2 squares of dark chocolate at night after dinner? Like you can just say yes or no, because I'm okay with the 2 squares of dark chocolate after dinner if you'd like to. And they said, I really do like it. It allows me not to binge on other foods or have ice cream or something that my kids might be eating. I said, I totally get it. I understand. I just need to build that into your plan. All right, dark chocolate can have a lot of polyphenols if we're talking about 80+% dark chocolate and low sugar, of course. So what do? Well, it's mainly a healthy fat. What are we going to do? We're going to take that 80 calories out of somewhere else in their diet that they don't need to have that extra amount. What else are we going to do? Just measure the olive oil, like simple things. And they're like, well, there's not enough liquid then on my food for me to enjoy it. I say, okay, good. All of these things I need to know, and you just let me know because there is a healthy hack around all of them. So instead of using more olive oil, all we did was say, use the 2 tablespoons, but let's add maybe a little apple cider vinegar, or maybe let's just use some lemon, some lime. And that's going to give more of that liquid-based dressing type feel to it. So we did that. And then I said, just be aware, unless you really need to taste your kid's dinner, don't take those extra 2 bites. Might not, again, like no big deal if you do, no big deal if you don't, but over time it is a big deal because let's just say it's only 60 calories. All right, 60 times 30 days is 1,800 extra calories, right? So over 2 months, that's enough to swing the scale 1 pound. So again, like no big deal for that day, but is it a big deal if you continue to do it? Yes. And then I said, also, this will still allow you to enjoy your cheat meal. However, on your cheat meal days, what we're going to do is if it's mainly carbohydrate based, because you like your pasta, you like your bread, great. We're going to go a little lower carb before you do that dinner at night. And so we're just going to shift some of those calories to the dinner. Doesn't mean we're not having food because I don't like the whole fasting food banking and then you just one huge meal. Not great also for the metabolism over time. So all we do is we just play with it a little bit to make sure they're at a healthy level. Now, let's take it down on the other extreme. Someone's only eating 1,200 calories a day. All right, you have to be careful there because again, this person needs to boost their metabolism rather than just continuing to cut calories and calories, right? So it depends on the client that you're looking at, but I wanted to share this story with you here today because it is so easy to overeat, especially for people eating things like trail mix mid-afternoon. Have you ever looked at the calories? Again, I'm not saying that this is an unhealthy food. Nuts can be a very healthy food. But when we look at this, what is it? Well, it's like, again, 120, 130 calories for a small handful, 20 to 30 grams, that's it, of nuts. That's all. And so when we look at this, we say, wow, how easy is it then to eat 4 or 5 handfuls of trail mix? Easy. That's 500 to 600 calories, right? So when you look at that, you have to understand those even healthy calories add up really quickly. As quickly as eating fast food and brightly colored beverages with lots of sugar and all that? No, not as quickly as that. But obviously you can see why we have so much obesity and type 2 diabetes and other issues in the country. And so my goal is just to bring the education there. And for the people who really want it and want to act on it, you know what you can do. And one of the best things that you can do is just become more self-aware. You don't even need to change it all at once, but just becoming more self-aware allows you then to have the option to say, okay, yeah, maybe I don't need to do that. Maybe there are other healthier alternatives. And then you can also ask yourself, how important is that goal? If you don't really need to lose the last 5 pounds and you're good with it, and your current lifestyle overall healthy, and you're able to maintain and do kind of what you want, well, then good. You just kind of say like, I'm good with that. But for the people who constantly have that same goal, I just would be happier 5 pounds less. All right, then let's get you 5 pounds less. Let's at least get there, and then you can decide when you're there if it's something that you want to maintain. And I do that with a lot of my clients as well. So again, the goals are always yours, but by working with a health practitioner, running a lot of these at-home functional medicine lab tests, having a plan devised for you, you can really see how you can dial it into to get exactly whatever your goals are. So hopefully this was helpful. Would love to hear from you in the comments. If you have any other show suggestions, I'm always all ears. And of course, if it was helpful, do feel free to share this with anyone you believe it could serve. Show notes for today, StephenCabral.com/3330. Take care, everybody. I'll talk with you tomorrow. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.